Are you ready to put it into your past? If so, stay tuned because I'm going to show you 4 ways to upgrade your operating system as we go into the new moon in Pisces, where past meets future. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe, base spheres, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Welcome to my weekly glow show. Today I'm going to bring to you an energy report for this new moon in Pisces on March 6, 2019. But I also want to give you an overview of the energy, how that pertains on a universal scale, as well as how it pertains to your twin flame journey, and then you personally. So let's just dive right in. And I guess the heart of this particular new moon has to do with the closing of a portal, of a karmic portal, I should say. And that not only are we closing the karmic portal of all the karma that we as twin flames, as a lot of people did too, as well, sign up in order to release that karma, but we are also opening the portal to divine will, the divine ordinance of the higher conscious wisdom and the universal intelligence that we came here to bring into form, and to bring into form that which we signed up for as far as our truth and our mission and our purpose and our passion, and to do it with love, especially as twin flames. And so, like in this particular new moon, then typically a new moon has to do with new beginnings or introducing new ideas or new concepts. Well, we're still doing that, but with it being in Pisces, and Pisces being the last zodiac of the signs to come through here, it's bringing out a closure. At the same time, it's opening up, which is why I said we're closing a portal of the karma, and it's even happening on a universal collective scale. I'm going to share with you how that points down to this particular moon and the bigger picture, even on a universal scale, in a second. But basically, in this, the past meets future, so to speak. And we also, in addition to that, we have Mercury that just went retrograde in Pisces as well. And that, again, Mercury going retrograde takes us back into this deeper, darker layer. But we're really not going backwards like sometimes it can feel like. We're really just going deeper and wider. And so I'm really seeing this also affect a lot of clients and myself as well, and people around me's heart chakra. That is really activating and opening up the heart too for the new beginning as to what does the heart desire? What does the heart want going forward? I mean, we can look at this timeline as almost like we've all heard of the end of the world, and let's say it's time to go, it's time to leave, and we're leaving the old ways, the old patterns, the old habits, the old mindset, the old beliefs that we've either created or taken on for others. We've been clearing bloodlines at the same time of clearing the collective universal cosmic energy, as far as clearing that universally. And so now it's coming into a place of we've done our job, and now what do we want? And we're going to leave all of this behind us, and in the future, out of what you have left, what would you take with you? So I kind of like open up with this question for you, like in the review of your life, your world, your space, your heart. If you were given an opportunity to take one suitcase forward with you, leaving your past behind and saying you're going to walk away from everything, which, by the way, I did this literally back 5 years ago. I sold 95% of what I owned. I moved into a place that's completely furnished. I brought minimal to nothing with me, and I basically shed everything. But if you were to bring whatever with you, what would you bring forward? And we're going to talk about that in a minute, what you would bring forward or on that, on every scale of your own mind, heart, vision, body, and those things in a minute. But, you know, that's kind of like I guess the theme of this portal that we're talking about, because you're closing out and you're opening up. What are you going to leave behind? What are you going to take with you? So now, before we get into that, to share with you, like on a bigger picture, how you can use that in your reality, let's talk the energy on the universal scale now. And I want to see where I need to start with this, because it's really big and really complex. But I want to be able to like narrow this down in such a just really easy, simple way from the super, super highlights, because I've been sharing this kind of information in the bigger portals through a combination of in my book, Twin Flame Code Breaker, which, by the way, it is a new moon. It is for free today on Kindle. You will find a link below. So make sure to, if you've not got plugged into my book, it's free today for the new moon. And but I've also been sharing this through a lot of the different energy updates that I've tracked this energy, and I also have future books coming in the bigger picture of this universal energy going forward. So, all right, as I said, I'm going to see where to start. Okay, so basically, one of the things I didn't say, I want to say kind of at the moment, out of this full moon, we have the portal that's opening up to the gateway of March 20th, 21st for the full moon that we have in Libra coming up, and also the spring equinox, which, by the way, that day is going to be one of the most powerful days of the year. And also, it will set you up for 7 to 10 years of your future on that particular day, to use that day for your benefit in order to, you know, what are you taking forward with you, I should say. So anyway, when we look at the big picture of this universal reset, it really took place at the peak of it on 2012, December 21st of 2012, when we had the flip between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius, transitioning into a new timeline for another 2,150 years, moving from the old masculine ways into the new feminine energy of ease and grace, love, harmony, peace, just like the song, The Aquarius. And so in that, everything has transitioned. So that one particular peak had a 25-year timeline leading up to it, and it's going to have a 25-year timeline leading out of that as we transition across that bigger collective universal timeline. In that timeline, we had an apex of energy taking place from 2007 to 2019. And that meant 5 years leading up to 2012 and 5 years after 2012 has been a apex of the convergence of going in one direction to the other direction, with the shift in the cusp of that energy transitioning, because nothing's black and white. It's always leading up to, and, you know, also merging out of. And so when that took place, as twin flames, we also collectively signed up for different phases of the journey to help clear that karma through that transition of shifting from the old and coming into the new. And that's how and why we have 3 waves of twin flames. Now, those waves are based on a few factors. Those waves are based on a combination of personal karma that you chose to clear for your own experiences. It was based on the initial timeline that you came into an initial connection in the physical 3D to be activated by your twin flame. And then in addition to that, it also in that, a factor of that is, when did you get your wake up to your identity of being a twin flame? And those are 3 of the big things that determine whether you're a first wave, a second wave, or a third wave. What I will tell you is that the first wave karmic clearing patterns was, and this is give or take a little here, just so you know, with these transitions, but a defining moment of 2007 and before of clearing some very deep karma And a lot of those twin flames have been, in some form of a push-pull purge and clearing karmic purge for 20, 25, 30 years. And it could be longer. I'm just saying that is like the heart of that era for the first wavers that came through really to clear out the brush wave, the karma, to open up. And then the second wave coming behind that started doing a lot of their clearing, a lot of their waking up, a lot of their shifting and purging right in the apex of the 2012. And now as we're coming out of that and we're closing that 5-year window of that apex, I said on the bigger scale, that 5-year window between 2012 and 2019, then we've had our third wavers that they started waking up last year, and there's been a huge, huge, huge awakening since the 1111 portal of 2018. I am seeing these twins, like I see this all the time. You've heard me say this before, but it just keeps picking up speed. These people are waking up, remembering their identity, connecting, activating, expanding, and going through this shift so fast. It just blows my mind, for one. And two, they're also, a lot of them that I'm seeing are coming into union. I'm seeing people that's, waking up in November that's literally with twin and union and reunion and living together, by now. And this is multiple waves of them. And there was a lot of wake-ups last year, but it really, really, around the 1111 portal, really activated like this third wave energy. So in that, I want you to be aware of a few things. There are a lot of commonalities to the twin flame journey, but there are a lot of differences, and there is no direct path, and there is no exact one path. And that's where people get so confused on this, because they think that it's so revolved around one kind of paradigm, and it's not. It's got so many layers and so many factors to this, and that's one reason why I would really highly recommend you read my book and get it for free today. And it's typically free for every new moon, full moon. If anybody else is watching this and it's past, it's going to be midnight and Pacific Standard Time, what is how long it will be for free, which is why I'm also coming here to deliver this message for you today, a day early than my normal video release date tomorrow, because I want to make sure you get this information for this portal and use it to your advantage the best you can. So now, let me just see. So that's on that big scale, of that big apex of the universal clearing, all the way from 2012 and those transitions up to 2012 and after. And here we've came into this, coming into 2019, is the closure of that karma. It's done. We've done the job. Okay. And so the universe has had, and I've mentioned this before, but it's still present, has had a 5-month reset, a universal reset going from November of 2018 to March here, the 5 consecutive full moons at 0 degrees. And that's where the 5th one is March 21st here, coming up. And that is, again, we're at the end of the end of the end of the end. And now is the time that as everybody's going through this, everybody's going through it at different levels based on where you are in your personal path and what you need, what needs clearing, and when, most importantly here too, what wave are you in? So, I want to remind everybody, and that's why I want to share with you some of the personal ways. It might be different for everyone, but I have something for everyone that will work for everyone in those different phases, depending upon where you are. So you will have to kind of pick and choose where you fall into that, so that you can use my resources that I'm going to provide for you the best you can for what your needs are. And if you're not sure what they are, be sure to ask your guidance to help direct you towards what is going to give you the most benefit for that. So As a collective scale, though, and we're clearing this karma, we all came here to become the ascended master, to master our vows that we signed up for, to master our soul's agreement, to complete the soul agreement. And in the process of that, we've had to purge and purify the soul to unlock that truth inside of us that I mentioned, that we can then bring into form the universal intelligence. Now, like, one of the things that I will tell you, that the energy has shifted in a way that as we were clearing the karma, we went through phases in that 5-year transition that said, you know, we are put in a position and learning these lessons of what I call shift or be shifted, meaning you get to choose to change or you get forced to change. And so we've been through that enough that a lot of people have awakened enough that they do desire more. They are, you know, coming into more heart-centered, at least knowing that they want that. But what's happened right now, and especially started around the beginning of this portal that where we flipped into 2019 in January, divine will has taken over. And this is where I'm seeing a lot of the twin flames. And I have multiple phases I've seen that twins come together in these waves that we keep hearing and saying. And I keep saying the same waves do that. And this is another wave of reunions that are here and that I'm seeing come together. And they're coming together through divine will. And so when it comes to the things that you need to work on personally to continue your own mastery, your own personal path, the key here is to realize that you're not being necessarily like forced to do this anymore to have to clear the karma. It's more an implementation of what it is you chose to do. So the number one thing that I want to tell you, there's a few things, there's like 4 things I want to tell you you need to work on. Number 1 is shift your focus and start focusing on what's positive about your journey and move beyond the illusion of the karma and the crap. Because if you continue to keep your mindset in that space, you can keep yourself living in that timeline, but you don't have to anymore. So shift your focus into and find the positive side of what your journey is or where you're at, because going forward we will continue to have chaos, we will continue to have challenges. It's going to come about how do we handle them going forward. We're never going to get away from growth or change or things that we have to do. So how can we manage it really going forward? And the second thing it's going to be super important is, and depending on where you're at in this and how much work you've done, is making sure to complete your soul contract. Making sure that you've canceled your karmic contracts, universal contracts with others. Learning the lessons that you signed up in your soul agreement to learn from them. Also making sure to like let go of energetic cords of attachment to people, places, things, timelines. Releasing your stories so that you can, you know, shift beyond that. And then in addition to that, there is completing your contract. Part of it is making sure that you cancel all your vows that you signed up for, that maybe you don't have to learn any more lessons in certain areas, like for instance, to what's just coming through, so this is probably for somebody, is celibacy and chastity, meaning that you've taken a celibacy vow to be alone and to not experience sexual pleasure and things like that. And so it could just might be the reason why you are still alone. So you want to make sure you complete that contract. So I've actually, I don't know, it's been a while now, I put together a complete your soul contract through guidance of a kind of a checklist of all the pieces for you to do and to work on. And so I'm going to make sure that that's linked below, that you can get that, and it's a free resource that if you've not worked my complete your soul contract and you're still feeling like you got karma you're clearing, or you're feeling stuck and you're not moving forward and you still want to know why, this might be one of the deeper layers for you to make sure that you've completed that contract so that you can move on and move forward. But what I will tell you is, because of the universal timeline and the shift that we have in that, This is where I said it depends upon the energy of working this. It doesn't mean you have to stew in that contract anymore. It means you can acknowledge it and you can like bring it to your awareness and you can release it faster, because in the past it was the release that took so long. And part of that is the number 3 thing in this is you need to release your resistance. Like stop fighting the process of being in control, which is a form of surrender and letting go and getting in the flow of this energy of the new way, being open, willing to receive, which is the feminine energy, not the old masculine Pisces energy that is like hung on to the having to do everything so hard. You can do it easier now. And before I move on to the next one, I want to say this again about the heart chakra. So all of this, the point of all of this, the whole thing, is to connect to your heart. And that becomes a journey of moving from, the journey to your heart, of moving from your head into your heart. And the process, it is a process of the layers, of the letting go, of the creating the trust meter to believe in this journey, to stop fighting it, so that you will stop fighting it when you start to trust it. And the more you trust it, the more you let go. And the more you let go, then the more you move into your heart. And then the more you start to align with your heart, that helps you connect to the alignment of the cosmic heart, of the universal heart here. And in doing so and shifting the concept of the mind aspect, when you can really tune into the mind of your own mind and unlock that wisdom inside of you to see things from that positive perspective, what happens is you start to then connect to the cosmic mind, the divine mind and the divine will. And you then get out of the way. You get out of your own way to open up this energy, to let yourself shift into your heart. And that helps you then become a bigger picture of the collective energy, connecting to your own body in this way of feeling your intuition and following your senses, then helps you align with the collective whole, and all of that making up the universal Christ consciousness that we bring into form individually. And this is how we're doing it individually for the collective, which is also changing and tapping into universal grid lines based on where you're located in where you live, where you travel, like these things, or rewriting the history of the past. And the other thing I want to say to you, like in this timeline that we're in right now, between this new moon and going to the full moon and the equinox, this is the portal to that. So today is the portal that's opening the portal for the new beginning that begins on 3/20. Because I told you everything has transition, which, by the way, the waves of twins also have transition. When I was giving you those timelines, I kind of mentioned this, but there's a transition and a cusp of first wave, second wave, third wave, kind of on cusp of those things too. So, I usually help clients pin that down based on certain questions that I can help with, but no, it's not a black and white transition in those waves that you're part of. But the same thing with this energy at this given moment. We are in the opening portal to the new beginning that's basically, technically, starting today, moving into that. And, I ask you again, what are you taking with you as you go forward? And the old is ended. You're basically leaving this life and you're going to a new life. And basically the world has ended and you're going to heaven. I mean, it's the concept we're at right here. This is it. So when it comes to, I mentioned March 20th being very much a powerful, powerful day for all of us, depending upon where this moon and all the star alignment falls within your houses. For instance, that's where you want to focus on and put your energy into. So everybody's house is different based on your situation. So, you might want to get an astrology report, which I don't do those, but, you might want to find an astrology reporter to give you that defining moment, or look that astrological information up and what house it is in which of your houses. So for instance, with me, this timeline is falling in to, as far as the combination of all the energy, my career, as well as long-term relationships. And what I've been noticing in this timeline for me, and also with people around me, and also with clients, is cleaning off the plate in a combination of clearing out old projects, but at the same time implementing new ones. And also the seeds that you sow in these areas of your life, for instance, me with my career right now and my long-term relationship, the seeds you're sowing right now in this timeline will set you up for success over the next 7 to 10 years, because that's how powerful it is. So, I encourage you to find out what you are in your sign and what your houses are being affected, and where to sow your seeds so that you can make this effective for you now in this energy. But in the fourth thing, and as I do a recap here, I said you need to shift your focus, move beyond the illusions. You need to complete your soul contracts. But in the process of this, you need to let go of resistance to the changing of this change, because that is what's a piece of holding you back. And that will help you surrender into the new, letting go of the old into the new. And the faster you can do that, and I hear all the time, how can I do that? Well, I always say, when you don't have to ask that question, then you figured out the answer, because this is not about figuring out how to do it. It is doing it by just being and allowing and being open to receive. All right. And, I want you to rewind that if you need to and listen to that, because that's powerful and that is what it is. And by all means, if that's something and somewhere you're at, you keep being stuck, that's what I help people come through that portal within themselves. And to do that, it's kind of interesting. I set up the passion project that I've been working on over the last couple weeks. I've presented to you guys that came out of nowhere. Well, as I was putting all this together, I realized why. That this whole universal reboot that I'm talking about is resetting the operating system of the entire universe. That's doing it as well for our collective group. That is also then doing it on our individual basis, our individual self, and being able to tap into more of our personal power, our positivity, our passion, and a purpose in our present life as we go forward. And to do that, we need to reboot our own operating system and reset the button on all of our systems so that we can upgrade everything to the new bit of how it's going to play out going forward. So you need to be making sure that you're upgrading your mind and staying present and a place of letting go of those old ways, the past, the thoughts, the emotions that they create, that the thoughts create, that you're staying in check with your mindset, and then out of that, upgrading your vision of a new vision of where do you want to go from your heart. And then upgrading your heart of making sure to know what it is you desire from your heart. And in the process of all of this, that is upgrading your energetic frequency, that's raising your own vibration to align with your truth and the divinity, so you can align in yourself of your heart, your head, your mind, and your soul, to tap into the heart, head, mind, and soul of God, meaning that you aren't separate from any of this, and you already are a part of this collective, so that you can then manifest all these things from your heart and align with them, and then bring them into form. When I say manifest them, you're bringing them into form. But you got to get your vibration high enough, so it's upgrading that vibration. And you do that also by upgrading your body. And every cell of our whole being has a memory into the DNA all the way down to our cellular level and the soul cellular level. And the fastest way to manifest is to reprogram your DNA. So basically, that passion project, the 30-day passion project, I didn't realize this, it's really a reprogram for your DNA on every level, that's including upgrading your mindset, upgrading your vision, upgrading your heart, upgrading your body, upgrading your energy. And I don't think I said this one, but it's upgrading your space. What is not working around you? What is not aligning? What people, places, things are either no longer like match your vibration, or what can you bring into your space that's going to raise your vibration to where you want to be? And the 30-day passion project, if you did not get like signed up for that, which by the way, maybe watch those last 2 videos if you did not watch them. I'll make sure they're linked here somewhere. Maybe even connect this one to that one. But you know, if you have not got plugged into the passion project, the 30-day passion unlock your passion project, I highly encourage you to do that. So that's where we're at right now collectively, to come into the new way of bringing into form more passion and purpose and love and harmony and peace and enjoyment and supreme happiness. And that's doing it from a heart. And that's what this portal is all about. And that's what today's all about. And that's what's coming up through March 30th. And now I do want to say one other thing that what feels like coming through just to mention to you. As people are going through this clearing of not just the universal clearing, I'm talking about the collective scale that we've taken on, but the bloodline, there's been a lot of bloodline clearing stuff taking place. In fact, even my own family members have had some major illnesses and a lot of illness with my dad and even my mom for a few months in this whole time frame that we're talking here. And I can sit back and I can see it following suit of the clearing and the purging of all of that stuff that's part of their release. And they don't know what they're doing, but they are. And I can see it. And it's in perfect alignment with this energy. So you might be feeling this. I will tell you, for me personally, over the last probably 2 to 3 weeks leading up to now, I have felt more tired than I have felt in a while. So on a physical scale, our bodies are doing these upgrades that I'm talking about, like it or not. The universe did an upgrade, we're doing an upgrade. So, you know, that's where I said it's divine will, and the divine has taken over, and it's just happening, including reunions. So, much love to you. Many blessings. Make sure to like, comment, share the shine, and subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment and let me know where you're at, what you're doing, especially if you're plugged into the 30-day passion project. Leave a comment below. I'd love to know how it's working for you. And one thing I will say about that is a lot of information, and it's more than you could probably get done in 30 days. And I also see this becoming a combination of a book and or online course that I will probably be doing a more expanded version. And I don't know if this whole free version will even be as like free the whole time after that. I don't even know, but I know it is now. And so, you know, it's going to probably be more than you can actually do and implement in the 30 days, but it's going to mean you're moving forward with a blueprint that's going to help you do that as you transition forward. Okay? Much love to you. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.